For Chasm Radio, I'm Farm Director Joel Gill, broadcasting at Minnesota Pork Congress this year in Minneapolis, and Dr. David Wright joining us. Dr. Wright, thanks for joining us, and you were presenting on Wednesday morning. Let's talk about your presentation and the message you had for producers and other pork industry members.
All right. Well, great. Thank you for the opportunity. I have, as of September, I've become the Minnesota coordinator for the Secure Pork Supply Plan. And what this is a program, it's a voluntary program for producers to assist them in preparation for the possibility of a foreign animal disease. And the program is being implemented, or it's being organized on a national level. It's an integrated approach, something that has been a coordinated effort between industry, academia, and government to try to respond to the potential risks. So what I did in my presentation is I outlined some of the threats, the implications of a foreign animal disease, how costly it would be, what an impact it would have on our exports, which now is at 27% of the pork, and it's perhaps going to 33%, and all that would be shut down if we had a foreign animal disease diagnosed. So what we're trying to do is lay the groundwork before it happens of trying to help producers plan and participate in this program.
What are the main avenues we should be aware of where this could originate and affect us?
Well, that's a good question. I think that there are several. The first thing is it's very unlikely that it's going to come in with infected livestock, because those animals are always under quarantine. It's a very special requirement. But we have tremendous amount of international travel, and people might take food in, and if you don't declare it, they may not be picked up. If that's contaminated with foot and mouth disease or African swine fever virus, and some meat that they have, that could very easily get introduced. And then Dr. Scott D. has made an earlier presentation that you may have interviewed him, and we have uncovered the potential of these viruses surviving in transatlantic or trans-Pacific containers in feed ingredients. And African swine fever in particular is a very hardy virus that can survive long distances, even to the point where it could be in the container without any feedstuffs. And so those are the major threats that we're concerned about, that makes it more of a higher probability, and it's the reason we need to get the attention of producers and the industry.
I'm sure it would have been interesting to see some of the faces in the seminar reacting to some of the information. And from a producer perspective, is there a plan of attack that they should be prepared for, and just in case something as FMD would take place? Or?
Well, the first thing that we need to have producers do is be aware of the clinical presentation. And many producers have probably had the experience with Seneca virus A, which looks indistinguishable from foot and mouth disease. It's basically what we call a vesicular disease, one that has blisters or erosions on the foot and snout and feet. And identifying anything that's a blister, we don't want to take it for granted. We don't want to assume that it's just Seneca virus. We have to make sure to rule out that it's not foot and mouth disease, because that would be terrible. The other general category is identifying any kind of septicemia. It might look like erysipelas, it might look like salmonella, but it's basically these severe septicemia that are unexplained by other means. So if producers, first of all, identify and report that, we're going to be able to snuff that out early. So that's the number one step.